Have you ever looked at someone you love and realized you don't actually know them at all? It was a Tuesday evening 3 years ago when my husband left his phone on the counter, something he never did. So when I tapped into his message box, I read messages that shattered everything I believed about my relationship. A message lit up the screen. "Can't wait to see you tonight, baby." The password was my birthday. Ironic, isn't it? I then began to realize the man I'd built a life with wasn't who I thought he was. He was a pure narcissist in disguise, and the signs had been there all along. If you've ever questioned whether your partner might be showing narcissistic male traits, what I'm about to share might just save you years of pain. What I found wasn't just evidence of infidelity, it was a pattern. Multiple conversations with different women, each one hearing the same lines he'd used on me. The same, "You're different from everyone else" speech. And in one conversation, when a woman called him out, I saw his mask slip completely. The vicious, cold person behind those messages wasn't the man who'd held me the night before. But here's what broke me more. I'd been blaming myself for everything wrong in our relationship. His mood swings? I must have done something. His silent treatments? I was too sensitive. His constant criticism disguised as helping me improve? I should be grateful. That's when I understood. Narcissistic abuse doesn't just hurt, it rewires how you see yourself. In this video, I'll share the traits of a narcissistic man I discovered through my painful journey, signs I wish I'd recognized sooner. If you want to uncover more insights on dealing with a narcissistic man and recovering from narcissistic abuse, subscribe and hit the notification bell. Trait 1. The intoxicating love bombing stage. The beginning was almost theatrical. He didn't just like me, he was obsessed. He texts every morning. Flowers were delivered to my work. Grand declarations about our future after just 3 weeks. "You're my soulmate," he'd say. I've never felt this way about anyone. This is what experts call the narcissist love bombing stage. It's not genuine affection, it's a calculated strategy. He was studying me, learning what made me feel special, mirroring my interests perfectly. When I mentioned I loved vintage books, suddenly he was a book collector. The love bombing isn't about you, it's about creating an addiction. He made me feel like the most special person alive, so that later, when he withdrew that feeling, I'd do anything to get it back. And I did. For 3 years, I chased the ghost of those first few months. Here's what many don't know. Healthy love grows gradually. But narcissistic man traits include this explosive, overwhelming intensity that feels like destiny, but is actually manipulation. Trait 2. The gradual devaluing I didn't see coming. The shift was so subtle. First, small comments. "Are you really wearing that?" My ex used to cook better, but that's okay. Always delivered with a smile. Always followed by, "I'm just being honest because I love you." This is why narcissists devalue you gradually. Death by 1,000 cuts. He started comparing me to other women. I was never quite pretty enough, smart enough, successful enough, but it was always wrapped in concern or jokes. The devaluation phase keeps you trying to earn back the pedestal he put you on during love bombing. I remember crying to my best friend saying, "I just need to be better for him." She asked, "Better than what? You're already amazing." But I couldn't hear it. The gaslighting had already done its work. Trait 3. Gaslighting that made me doubt my reality. "I never said that. You're remembering it wrong. You're too emotional. You're crazy." Gaslighting is the signature move of emotional manipulation by a narcissist. He didn't just lie. He convinced me my memory, my perception, my sanity were faulty. I started recording conversations because I couldn't trust myself anymore. The worst part, he'd flip situations to make himself the victim. I'd confront him about flirting with someone, and somehow the conversation would end with me apologizing for being jealous. This is how a narcissist controls you, by making you doubt your own reality. I kept journals during those years. Reading them now breaks my heart. Page after page of, "Maybe I am too sensitive," and "He's right. I need to work on my trust issues." I didn't have trust issues before him. He created them. Trait 4. The Jekyll and Hyde personality switch. One morning, he'd wake up cheerful, making breakfast, talking about our future. That same evening, He'd erupt over how I loaded the dishwasher. This is how a narcissistic man treats his partner. He keeps you off balance. You never know which version you're getting. The rage isn't about your behavior. It's about his need for control. I once got a promotion at work. Instead of celebrating, he sulked for days, then exploded about how I was becoming too focused on my career and neglecting him. My success threatened his need to be superior, so he punished me for it. Trait 5. The complete lack of empathy when I needed it most. My father died during our second year together. At the funeral, he seemed supportive, but the day after, he complained that I was too sad, and it was bringing down his mood. 2 weeks later, he said I needed to move on because my grief was exhausting. This is one of the most painful characteristics of a male narcissist. When you're vulnerable, when you need support, they're either absent or they make it about themselves. I'd share my struggles, and somehow the conversation would shift to his struggles. The signs of a narcissistic man include this chilling inability to connect with your emotions unless they serve his purposes. Your joy is threatening, your sadness is inconvenient, and your needs are burdensome. Trait 6. The isolation tactics. Slowly, I became isolated. He had opinions about all my friends. She's a bad influence. Your family doesn't understand us. Meanwhile, his friends always took his side. When I finally opened up to friends about our problems, I learned he'd been feeding them a completely different narrative. He was the victim of my emotional instability. He'd carefully constructed a reality where everyone saw him as the suffering saint and me as the problem. This is strategic. Isolation isn't accidental. It's a tactic. The fewer people you can turn to, the more dependent you become on the narcissist's version of reality. Trait 7. The final discard. The end came suddenly. He'd already lined up his next supply. When I confronted him, there was no remorse, just cold indifference. I haven't been happy for a long time, he said, as if our entire relationship was my failure. The narcissistic cycle, idealize, devalue, discard, was complete. The answer to why he treated me this way? Nothing. Absolutely nothing was wrong with me. This is how narcissists operate. When you're no longer useful, when you start seeing through the mask, you become disposable. Trait 8. The aftermath and healing. Recovery took longer than the relationship itself. I exhibited every sign of narcissistic victim syndrome: hypervigilance, self-doubt, difficulty trusting, and depression. Therapy became my lifeline. My therapist helped me understand that overcoming narcissistic abuse isn't just about recovering from what happened. It's about unlearning the distorted thinking the relationship created. The long-term effects of dating a narcissist include a warped sense of what love should feel like. I had to relearn that love doesn't hurt. Real love doesn't require you to shrink yourself. Here's what leaving a narcissistic relationship taught me. You cannot fix them. You cannot love them enough to change them. And staying doesn't make you loyal. It makes you complicit in your own suffering. Conclusion. If you recognized your partner in these traits of a narcissistic man, if your heart raced reading these signs, trust that instinct. You're not crazy, nor are you too sensitive. You're not the problem. Narcissistic personality disorder traits in men are real, documented, and devastatingly common. In the comments below, share which trait you recognized. Let's learn from each other. You're not alone in this. If this video helped you see your situation more clearly, hit that like button. Subscribe for more content on recovering from narcissistic abuse. Ring that notification bell because healing is a journey we take together. The story doesn't end with the discard. It begins with your decision to choose yourself. Thank you for watching.